Alright, well, this is going to be a tier list video and on Multiversus, and I just want to clarify that this tier list is meant to be for 1v1s, not 2v2s. So, with that being said, let's just get right into it. As you can see, I made a fix Arya tier, and the reason for this is because Arya's in a state right now where, like, she's not bad, but she could be better because in the most recent patch, they were supposed to fix her up special to make it where it's a 50-50 and you have to follow your opponent's DI, but sometimes it just doesn't work at all and you just can't follow up on it. And so, but the thing is, she's still a good character, so once they fix that, I think she'll be somewhere in between like maybe like S or A in 1v1s. We'll really just have to wait and see. Alright, and the first character I believe that is an S tier in 1v1s is Batman. Batman just gets to do so much, man. Batman can control so much of the screen just with throwing out constant batarangs. And then, not to mention, the weaken that gets applied to you if you get hit by the batarang just feels so brutal. Then, on top of that, Batman's just one of those characters where he's really hard to hit. It's hard to edge guard Batman because grappling hook just lets him go through so many options. Like if it feels like Batman, like if Batman doesn't just have it free against all every character, it feels hard to put Batman in situations where the Batman feels pressured to do something. Bugs Bugs is a character I believe that is also an S tier in 1v1s because Bugs his entire kit just is screen control. He has good screen control, the tunnel mix ups, and then on top of having all of that, Bugs also has can still do the loops. And his loops it's much harder to like infinite someone off of them. Only I don't I think it's still possible, but it's much harder to do that now. And sometimes it feels like Bugs is playing a different game entirely because you edge guard a Bugs, remove all their options, and they spawn one rocket and they get all their options back. It's hard to truly kill a Bugs unless you're do edge guarding because it's the only time I feel like I kill this character is when I just flat out kill him, just send him into the blast zone. And next up we have Finn. Finn got nerfed, and Finn got his nerfs. I feel like he's not no longer like just a supreme like top three in 1v1s anymore. Only Finn's still good, and Finn also did get buffed in this most recent patch, so he's gotten some of his power back, but I don't think he's like where he was previously, just being regarded as one of the top three in the game. All right, and you know what? I'm just gonna make another tier. We're just gonna and we're gonna call this one. Oh, we'll change that to D tier, and we're gonna call this one Iron Giant, and just put him there. Because I feel like Iron Giant is one of those characters where he still has strong options. He can cheese you out mad early by killing you at 50 off of just one grab. And like the character does have his own little sort of BS. But the thing is, it sucks being an Iron Giant, especially in 1v1s, because in 1v1s there's not the chaos of 2v2 where where you don't have a teammate ready to just come stop their combo. So if someone's comboing you hard and they've labbed out good combos, you could easily take like fucking 90 off of just getting hit one time by Iron Giant. Not Not to mention that when you pop your move that just makes you have armor and everything, they can just run. They can just run away from you and just camp you out until that's done. Iron Giant, because like Iron Giant could probably be a good like maybe B or C tier character, but I just feel like Iron Giant's just so bad in 1v1s that he just deserves his own bad tier. But that's not to discourage anyone from picking Iron Giant, because I believe every character in this game is viable, especially in a 1v1 or 2v2 setting. And Iron Giant has shown that he can win in 1v1s. I mean, there was a couple of Iron Giants in the top 30 in 1v1s before. So he can get there. I just don't. I don't. You just don't see a lot of them. Next up, we have Garnet, and Garnet, she needs some help, man. Garnet is a character that like she could and like honestly I think what the main thing that's holding her back is she just doesn't have like any really like supreme over the top options that just make her make her worth picking. Like 'cause, like the one character trait is that you have is that you have a lot of armor. But the thing is, a lot of other characters have ways of dealing with armor, or I mean, and also not to mention our armor attacks are really slow. So most people so most people just wait for you to finish it and then punish you in the end lag. Where some characters will just punish you before you can even get to the armor. And then if you're fighting Arya, they can just turn on turn attack and they don't care about armor. So I think Garnet with like I could easily see Garnet being in C tier in 1v1s, but I just don't see it right now at the moment. Only with some buffs, I think she'll be a lot better coming forward. Harley, Harley Quinn in this game is really good, and I feel like a lot of people are just sleeping on the power of Harley because Harley has big combos, big damage. She's got kill confirmed setups. She's got some big ass range with some of her normals, especially the hammer ones. And you also can just set up like some of the dirtiest traps imaginable. Plus she did get buffed because every assassin lost the passive where they take more damage, and she also got a movement speed increase. Like I feel like people are sleeping on this character or trying to downplay her. Only Harley is definitely she definitely deserves to be an A tier or at the very least top of B tier. And also, yeah, this tier list isn't ordered. Only if I did have the order, I'd probably put Bugs ahead of Batman. All right, another character, Jake. Jake, honestly, the Jake matchup feels so weird. Because with Jake, it's like you know what they want to do, but and then like the Jake matchup, like it's so telegraphed every move that they're doing, and you know they're gonna do it, but then you get hit anyway, and then it's like, did I really just get hit by that? And it's just and it's just because of how much range that Jake's has to play with. Not to mention they have one of the fastest ways of getting back down the stage with that house move. I don't know if that's their down air or one of their specials, but like that house move that reflects projectiles as well. It's because it's honestly when they go into that house move, it's so hard to try and hit them out of it that most times you just have to surrender entirely and just dodge it, or you try to hit them out of it and you get hit instead. Like Jake and 1v1s just you know what they're doing, but it just doesn't feel like there's a way to stop it. Rain Dog. I feel like Rain Dog as a character in 1v1s, just like Rain Dog in 1v1s, like he can. Rain Dog is good, but his because Rain Dog has good zoning. But I feel like the problem is that in 1v1s, like your ability to zone is kind of kneecapped by the fact that you don't have a second teammate ready there to sponge for you. So you're just getting So some characters will just rush you down, and depending on the character, you might want that because they'll just rush into all your projectiles. But characters that you don't want rushing you down, like Shaggy, Harley, Finn, like they just get to do that for almost free. And while you can beat those characters, it's just significantly harder for you to win as a rain dog compared to them. Shaggy. Honestly, now I know this is probably where a lot of people won't agree with me, but I mean, if you've seen Tamakora on Twitch or in any of the tournaments, y'all will know the strength of Shaggy in the past tournaments. Only Shaggy did recently lose his loot, so you could argue that Shaggy doesn't belong in S tier anymore and probably would belong in A. But honestly, I feel like that even with the loss of Shaggy's loots, Shaggy's still good because Shaggy still does have ways of like it won't be a long Shaggy loop that just takes you from zero to dead, but Shaggy can still combo you really hard, has good edge guarding, and while he did lose some weight, so he's not one of the tied for being one of the heaviest characters in the game. Shaggy, it still is hard to kill Shaggy at like reasonable percents because of like once you get him to 100, you know that they're gonna be. You know that every Shaggy runs the signature perk where once they're above 100, they go in rage, and at that point, once as soon as they're in rage, one down air into up special could literally be the end of your stock, and then they can charge it up again. And they can either use it to rack up damage or try and cheese out stocks early. Shaggy is probably one of the more polarizing characters to fight because it really just depends on how skilled the Shaggy is and how good you are at playing against him. Alright, another one. Steven. Now, Steven is a character I feel like who has a lot of hidden potential. But the thing is, we haven't seen any like there are good Steven players, but we haven't like seen like Steven's meta get really diverse yet. So you could argue that he is an A tier character. And honestly, I've seen what some of the good Stevens could do. So when his meta is finally realized and his potential is finally proven, I'm really scared to see how he's gonna be in the future of the game. But at the moment, I just can't put him above B tier. In fact, it might just be safer to put him in C tier because until his meta gets fully developed, I wouldn't want to put him too high, but I also wouldn't want to put him too low. And I feel like D tier is just way too low for this character because this character has one of the things that makes Steve from Smash Ultimate so powerful, and that's the ability to make their own platforms. So I think as time will come, we will find out if he's where he sits. But for right now, I feel like he should just stay in C tier until we know. Superman. Superman. Superman was a character that was originally in the big three, the S tier characters for 1v1s. But I feel like after the nerfs, I think he's dropped to either A or B tier. And honestly, I feel like the reason he got nerfed wasn't because like the character was doing like the character did have some BS that I'm glad that they addressed to balance him out with like some of the other cast members, but I feel like that the main thing that they were trying to nerf was his grabs, and yeah, the only thing I would have really nerfed on those was like the hit detection and range of it, because there were times where you'd be getting grabbed by a Superman grab and you weren't close enough for it to even look like it should have grabbed you. But I feel like that in the hitbox overhaul, the first part of it they did, that it fixed a lot of those issues, so it doesn't happen like as often. But I think the main reason why Superman dropped so badly is because people kept complaining about getting hit by the Superman grab. So they nerfed it a tad bit, but not enough where it killed the character. But I feel like that Superman is one of those characters that just bullies scrubs that keep dodging back into the same move they're getting grabbed by over and over again. And so I feel like that people are probably going to ask for more nerfs for Superman, and he's not even a broken character anymore. or I don't even think he was broken in the first place. I just knew he was better than a lot of other characters. But people are just gonna probably be complaining about the fact of Superman grabbing them constantly while they keep dodging into it. And yeah, it did feel like bullshit at times to have a Superman grab you, you die at 50. But once you learn the matchup, it's hard for them to do shit like that. So I feel like the main so I feel like he's in B tier for now. But if people don't learn this matchup, they might go for him again, and I feel like he just drop even further off the tier list. Tom and Jerry. As some of you, as most of you may know, Tom and Jerry recently got nerfed. Their down air was gutted. No more down air loops, which means no more landing down air, shooting Jerry, down airing, shooting Jerry. No more of that for right now. And honestly, I feel like in 1v1s they needed that to be an A tier character because yeah, Tom and Jerry setups are really clean and really good. But as the game has gone on, we have lost more ways to do setups. Like one of my favorite setups that they got rid of was you could have Jerry you could shoot Jerry in the rocket, and then when Jerry was falling down, he'd have a spike hitbox. That was later removed, and they said it was a bug. And yeah, I know they said it was a bug, but I would have rather they just kept that and changed it around that because it just felt good to have that extra layer for setups because it gave your opponent more things to think about, and it gave the Tom and Jerry more things to think about as well. Because if that hits, you now got to figure out how am I going to confirm off of the Jerry hit after on the Jerry falling down hit, but that's been removed entirely. And then on top of that, like losing the downer loops made Tom and Jerry feel so much worse in 1v1s because like we don't because Tom and Jerry they have good combos, but like they don't really have like any of these big combos like what a Harley, a Shaggy, a Bugs, or Batman could do. They never really had anything like that. So Tom and Jerry just I feels like without that they feel like more of like one of the too honest of characters. But in the next patch, they did say they were buffing their down air, so there might be a return to the down air loops. It might not be going up to 60 or 70 as it used to, but I think just by being able to do down air loops and get some consistent good damage, it would be worth it. And Wonder Woman. I put Wonder Woman in A tier in movie ones because Wonder Woman, she is what you would call an honest character to the T. She doesn't do big bullshit combos. She doesn't really she kind of and she's not really bad at anything. She kind of excels everywhere. She excels at edge guarding. She excels at recovering. She excels at just straight brawling. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman does not have any bullshit. She is just an honest character that plays neutral better than majority of the characters in this game. And not to mention she did get nerfed. She did lose some weight, but even with that nerf, I still think Wonder Woman's an A tier character in 1v1s. Like there are some bad Wonder Womans that you'll run into where they'll just air dodge after every the air dodge or dodge after every missed attack, but good Wonder Woman players are so good at setting up strings to get stocks early, and good Wonder Womans can just make you feel in such a panic and pressured state because they can hit you off stage, and now you're fearing with one of two of their best options. You're either fearing a lasso or the side special because both have the potential to kill you mad early if they get the right read. Wonder Woman is a character that just excels off of going for those reads and can just converting into like big damage combos. Which honestly, her big damage combos aren't even that big. What maybe like a down air, up air, up special into trying to land the reverse hit of up air, so you get the spike hitbox and lasso them. Wonder Woman has good highs And she does, and she's one of those all-rounder characters because she doesn't really have like a lot of just perplexing lows. She just feels like she just feels like an honest character that does what an honest character would do. Velma, Velma, Velma. Velma, I think, is a character that sits in A tier, and the reason for this is because just having homing projectiles is just like it's just so annoying because you're trying to dodge the projectiles the Velma's shooting at you, and then after they're done shooting them at you, they can follow the projectiles. So now you're trying to dodge Velma and some auto locked on projectiles. Not to mention that like yeah, she does excel as a 2v2 character, but the thing is, Velma can still box people because she has good hitboxes. She she's hard to approach because she's just so good at zoning. And then not to mention you also have to be careful of of that beam she has. Not to mention she could always call the mystery gang, and then even if they're not trying to kill you with it, the fact of if it catches you, they can just start hitting the car, and then you just start taking a shit ton of damage because got caught by the car. It's just so hard. It's just so hard to try and lock a Velma player down. Because I feel like the weakest a Velma will ever be is probably off stage, and it's just the problem is good luck getting them there because because you have to get them there first, which is hard to do in itself. And then not to mention you gotta also you also have to convert the edge guard into a kill. Like Velma is definitely an A2 character. Taz. What have they done to you? I, I feel like Taz is a D tier character now, and the only reason why is because they nerfed him too hard because people kept complaining about the side special. And don't get me wrong, the side special was annoying to get hit by, and like I'm pretty sure everyone day one or day two when they weren't that good at the game, were just picking it up, got rocked by a Taz that was just spamming side special, and thought, yeah, this character's bullshit. I don't want to fight this anymore. Nerf it immediately. But the thing is, after learning how to fight against like Taz spamming this, like it doesn't feel that bad anymore. Cause a lot of moves, believe it or not, actually can just beat Taz out entirely. Cause Taz does not have that much range. And one of the and well, honestly, I feel like one of Taz's worst matchups, Harley Quinn, has just been steadily getting buffed. Taz has just been steadily getting nerfed, and it just depends on who cries more. I feel like people were crying more because Taz side special was annoying. It felt like you couldn't do anything, but really all you needed to do was just bait the Taz into doing the move, dodge it, and then go punish him afterwards, or just use a character with big ass normals and just stop it entirely. So Taz, but that's not what happened. People did not learn this matchup. Instead, they said Taz is bullshit. Nerf him to the ground, and then now they're still losing the side special, and now they want it nerf more. So hey, what can you do? LeBron James. LeBron James is a character that I feel like LeBron James. Actually, no, I'm gonna put LeBron in B tier. I feel like LeBron could be is a B tier character because Here's the thing with LeBron. LeBron has good damage, has good kill power. It's just the problem. It's just the main thing is you gotta rack up that damage. And when you don't have a ball as LeBron, it really depends on the situation because sometimes it's better not to have the ball because when you don't have the ball, your moves don't send as far, which allow you to follow up for more combos. But you want the ball because the ball enables all your kill power. So it really just depends on what you need at the current moment. Ballless LeBron does do less damage, but when you're playing ballless LeBron and you hit a move, you get the ball back and then you can combo after it, and this will let you rack up damage faster. But you also want to be able to take stocks as early as possible. And LeBron, and just off of LeBron's side special, that move can kill really early, and it used to kill even earlier before they nerfed it and took away the weakened stacks and the shockwave, which I don't know why they took that away, honestly. But yeah, I feel like LeBron's a B tier character. Some may argue C tier, but I feel like B tier is a good place to keep him. All right, next up we have Morty, and Morty is a character I feel like that belongs in A tier. And the reason I feel like this is because Morty does usually thrive off of the chaos and doubles, but I also feel like Morty can thrive in singles because the thing is, your grenades your grenades do have a hitbox. And I'm not talking about when you shoot them and blow them up. I mean just a grenade in general when it's still in its full form and you can hit this grenade around and this makes it harder for your opponent to approach you because not only do they have to worry about like any move you're doing like a forward air or like your grounded jab, but they also have to worry about the bomb flying at them and hitting them out of something. And then if you see the bomb hit them, you can shoot the bomb, and then depending on their percent, you can run up and follow up with an easy up air, a down air, not to mention that you can also cheese stocks really early with your up smash, because your up smash when it's off cooldown shoots out you shoot it out and then it splits into those little pythons, and those pythons when they do have a spike hitbox on them, and then so you can just like put people in like a downward angle, like a downward diagonal angle, which is a brutal for a lot of characters in most games like this, and especially and but like and especially in like this game, especially because honestly, the characters in this game are so floaty that sometimes it feels like down airs are just kind of free. And then not to mention, Morty just has a lot of ways of just going around edge guards. Because you can side special past them, and not to mention your side special in the air has armor, your grounded side special can apply weaken, and you also break up the grenade. And when you side special your grenades, you split them into more grenades. So you could potentially, if someone's trying to pressure you, you can weaken them, split like two grenades and turn them into four, shoot them, and then all of a sudden your opponent that was at like maybe 80 or 90 is careening into a blast zone and getting robbed mad early. So yeah, Morty definitely has highs, and Morty definitely has had his lows, and like he still has some lows because sometimes it can feel hard to get a kill confirmed with Morty. But you also have so many good options of survivability, especially with your down special. But because you're down special, you go back to the place you started it at, and you start healing. You leave a grenade behind. So and like his down special just gives you even more wiggle room to be overly aggressive. Yeah, Morty. I just honestly, you could probably argue that Morty is probably like low S, but I feel like he's fine at A. And Gizmo is one of those characters where I feel like there just hasn't been enough of his meta unlocked in 1v1s, and I know he's been out for like 2 weeks, but it doesn't feel like Gizmo's meta has really been discovered. Gizmo feels good. Gizmo feels good and fun to play in 1v1s. But I don't feel like his meta's been like fully reached because a lot of Gizmos, they go for the same stuff. They forward air, the up air, they down like they try and get down airs. Like they try and zone you out with the up tilt because it sends out the popcorn, you shoot it or whatever. But I don't feel like Gizmo. I don't feel like we've fully learned how to utilize Gizmo's full potential, and I'm kind of curious to see when that will happen, when his full potential will actually be unlocked. I'm gonna add one more tier because, and I'm just gonna title this "I don't know" because Rick's not out yet. We know it's coming, but I don't know. I don't know where Rick's gonna be, how he's gonna play, but I'm both curious and excited to see how Rick will play in Multiversus. Only I've been lucky. This is my tier list. You may not agree with it, but this is my thoughts and opinions on the game currently. And I just want to make a reminder that this is opinionated. This is my opinion on how I view the cast. But so you may not agree with it, and I understand that. And hey, if you don't agree with it, I'd love to see your own tier list for 1v1s. Because I'm kind of curious to see other people's outlooks on 1v1s in this game. Because 1v1s aren't the main format, but they are fun. They probably are probably one of the sweatier formats, but I do have fun playing 1v1s. So I'd love to see other people's thoughts and opinions on this. Thank you. That is all.